Welcome all to the Snail Trail 4x4 podcast. If you like going off-roading in Toyotas, wrenching on Toyotas, camping in Toyotas, and maybe even poking a little bit of fun at Toyotas, and of course, hearing about how awesome frozen Toyotas are, then this is the podcast for you. That's right, ladies and germs. My name is Tyler, and joining me today for another episode of the Snail Trail 4x4 podcast is the one and only Jay. Jay, how are you?
I'm good. Thanks for asking. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. I'm doing pretty good.
Don't think that's a nickname I've ever had. You've
Jay?
given me a bunch of those throughout my life, but I think that's another one that I've never had.
No one's ever called you Jay?
I don't think so. No.
That's weird.
Because I'm not like Jason.
That's true.
I'm Jimmy.
You're James.
I'm James. James, yeah.
You're also JJ.
I've been called JJ.
But not J.
But not just single J.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
Good to know.
Yeah.
So we're trying to figure out names for my baby.
Got it.
My kid.
I think James is a great name.
A terrible name. There's way too many of those.
No. I think that all 7 of us would disagree with you.
Yeah. That Jason's.
There are a lot of Jasons and Justins.
Yeah.
Yes.
James, Jason, and Justin. You guys all have to fight over who has the best name.
The name. My advice for names when we were thinking about it was that it has to start with an A.
That way they're first in line all the time?
Yeah, if they go by first name, they're like
Anakin.
Yeah, or Aaron.
Aaron. Aaron. I want to do that just so I can say, hey, Aaron, get your ass over here.
Yeah, exactly.
You done fucked up, Aaron.
Yeah. Or you get an AB name, so you're always like, right up there. That was what we were, or at least I was starting to look for that. But then I was also thinking about like funny middle names that works with my last name. But we never had a kid, not going to have a kid, so I don't need to worry about it anymore.
Yeah, Jimmy got his tubes tied.
I did. Snipped and tied. And extracted.
Nice. You got the trifecta going on. Hat trick. Oh, man. Anyway, so let's see. We're doing a podcast here.
Today.
Totally forgot what we're talking about.
I know, we're already way off the rails.
This never happens on Snail Trail. It's a Thursday episode, I believe. So we have some stuff to recap for you guys. We both had some fun over the weekend. Jimmy, I'm very jealous. He got to play with fire.
I did.
I got to play with snow, ice.
I also got to play with more presents.
And presents. Really? Yeah. What, did you not open some? Or?
We had our 4th Christmas this year.
Oh my God.
Well, actually, first Christmas this year.
Yeah, right.
4th Christmas this season.
Wow. Okay,
have you seen that little ad or like meme sort of thing going around that says, I'm super proud of myself. I haven't bought anything off Amazon this year.
No, not yet.
Yeah. I thought it was pretty funny.
I think I broke that one.
I've already broke it
in the morning on January 1st.
Yeah, I broke it a few days in.
Well, cool. Yeah, we got some fun things to recap for everybody. Let's see. We have a giveaway going on and 2 winners to announce.
We do.
And oh God, we have FNGs and birthdays and all sorts of good stuff.
Yep. Did you say voicemails? We got those too.
3 voicemails. Voicemails have been pretty consistent now. I'm having fun with them.
I know. I'm stoked. Thank you, everybody who's calling in. Yeah. Love hearing your guys' voices. Love having your questions. Love answering and responding. And hopefully somebody answered the Detroit question.
Hopefully. I'm hoping. We got three chances. So 33.3333333333% of somebody answering it.
33.33 with the line on top.
There you go. Line 3. Yeah. All right. So we got those. We have a giveaway going on for reviews with Yokohama tires. So that one is pretty straightforward, but a really cool one. Essentially, we're bribing everybody to talk about us. And the way we do that is you go to Apple Podcasts. And if you don't have an iPhone, then just make a login or download the app or something and log in, go to Snail Trail 4x4 Offroad Podcast and leave a review. If you leave a review under the podcast, it could be 1 star, could be 2 stars, could be 5 stars. we're not biased on stars, unlike other people out there.
No, we're not.
Yeah. Just leave us any kind of review. You could tell us how much we suck. You could tell us how awesome we are. You could tell us how much you're looking forward to Jimmy's 5th Christmas. There are lots of things you can do. And all you got to do is leave that review and you'll be entered to win a swag pack once we reach 600, 650, 700 reviews. And then at 750, we're giving away tires.
4 tires.
4 tires.
Your choice, as long as they're DOT approved and a 20-inch rim or smaller. They're up for your grabs. All you got to do is leave that review.
Yep. And if you can find ways to leave multiple reviews, you increase your chances. It's awesome. So go do that. You go do, at least that's what Constantine. Thank you. I don't know what I was trying to say. I had a brain fart. That's what Constantine tells us, is that it's just simple math. We don't know how to do it, but that's what he says. Yeah, go do that. Apple Podcast. And a huge thank you to everybody that does that. It does actually go a really long way to helping us get in front of other people and get into other people's ear holes. So make sure you're doing that.
Absolutely. We've said it before, and I'm going to say it right now because we've been having a slight We've been having a slight issue with Spotify. So if you are on any other platform, that's fine. If you're on Spotify, that's fine too. We're just testing the waters. We're going to test something right now, and see if this shows up on Spotify or not.
Yeah. So if you listen to Spotify, let us know if you hear what's coming. Everybody else, if you're not listening through Spotify, you should have heard that. But we're testing something because Spotify sucks. And I was going to start a new segment.
Oh.
That had to do with Spotify.
Oh.
But now I'm not going
I think we just did
it. Well, it's going to be an ongoing segment kind of thing because they implemented a sort of a fun new feature. I don't know how new it is. I just found it the other day. And we're not going to do it now because I'm pissed at Spotify for doing some stupid things to the show. So anyways, if they ever get that settled up, we might start a new segment. It's kind of a segment we've been doing, but there's an official way to do it now that makes it super simple.
Well, so I'm curious, so you'll have to tell me off air what we might do.
Hey, you can just implement that beep noise right here, and I'll just tell you now.
Okay, I'm ready.
You ready? It's a... All right, so let's see. There's that stuff. Let's do our
giveaway.
Giveaway wieners?
Giveaway winners.
You brought your gift.
I did.
It's a lot bigger than mine was going to be.
Well, I've heard that all my life, by the way.
That's fair. Yeah. I might just throw mine in a really big box
of packing peanuts. I believe you would do that too. I had to custom make that box.
Oh, is that way? Okay.
To fit around the other box.
Oh.
But now that is the size of the box that's inside.
Wow. And you weren't struggling to carry, so it's not a winch.
No, it's not a winch, but it's probably about the size of a winch box. But it only weighs 5-7 pounds. Oh. No, maybe more than that. Maybe 10.
Okay.
It's not much. There's a lot of air in there.
There's a lot of air?
Mm-hmm.
It's like Ryan.
Yes. Big head, lot of space.
Yes. All right. So you have your gift there. My gift is in the warehouse, but I'm not telling you where because I haven't boxed it yet. Yeah.
I don't want to see it.
Good.
You can't see mine.
Yep.
I don't want to see yours. I want to see it when the voting happens, and I'm going to vote for mine.
You can't. That's biased.
Okay, fine. I'll vote for nobody's.
There you go. I'll vote for yours. How's that?
Deal.
Okay.
I'll vote for yours then, and then it'll be even and equal again.
It's like Survivor.
Yeah.
You can't vote for each other, though. I mean, no, we can vote for each other. We can't vote for ourselves.
Dang it.
Gotcha. Anyways, off track again.
Well, sort of on track because there will be a voting on these gifts. So the people that win, we'll announce your names here in a second. Are we going to do it on the Facebook group again?
Yeah, I think that's a good spot to do it at.
Okay. We'll do it on the Facebook group again on the Snail Squad. I will, before this episode comes out, I will try to go through everybody's names that has applied for entry and let in the people that are current members of the Snail Squad. I haven't done that in a little while, so I apologize. And once you get your gift, post it up and we'll then start the voting on whose gift was better, Tyler's gift or my gift.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that'll work.
Okay.
I'm gonna
So
win.
do you remember who you got?
I had the new guy, the new
Sorta
name I
new
hadn't
guy.
seen before. Nathan Dillport
Nathan Dillport.
was my wiener.
You're getting Tyler's gift.
Mm-hmm.
And I got Alexander Sagisi?
So I think it's Sagisi.
Sagisi?
Yeah.
You're getting the winning gift from me.
Yeah, whatever, if you say so.
Dude, I'm so destroyed you. I'm so excited for this gift.
I've never seen you like this sure of yourself before.
Yeah.
And I'm really kind of curious now.
You're fucking destroyed. There's no possible way unless you have this same exact thing I got.
Mine is actually like 4 or 5 little things.
Yeah. See, well, I guess mine could be. There's 4 or 5 parts that make up mine.
Oh, so it's an IKEA desk.
Yes.
Nice. I could use one of those.
10-pound IKEA desk.
Oh man. Well, cool. So congratulations to Nathan and Alex. You guys are the 2 big wieners from December. So you guys get to battle it out as to whose gift is better, mine or Jimmy's. Alex, you're going to get Jimmy's box over here, and Nathan, you're getting my box.
Absolutely.
We'll get those out hopefully today or tomorrow. By the time this airs, it should be in the mail. We're going to confirm addresses with you first. So watch for that. If you guys are listening to this, you should have an email or something from Jimmy or myself asking to confirm your address, and then we'll get those out to you guys.
Absolutely.
So,
yep. Sounds good.
Cool.
Well, and this month's giveaway is with a cool company called Roller Cam.
Mm-hmm.
They have reinvented the cam lock, cam buckle style tie down straps and put a kind of roller feature into it, which makes it easier and more efficient to tie down straps.
Yeah.
We have a plethora of different sizes for you from like 2 foot to 50 foot and a few different duplicates in there. So I think there's like 2 foot, 4 footers and a few 6 footers and stuff like that. And then their new product is also in there, which is their rope roller. Yep. The rope roller is more or less sort of the same thing, except it works with paracords. And it's a fantastic way to tie down lighter objects or simple objects that you can put the rope around. I think it has a strength of 35.
I think it was 35 pounds. Yep.
Not anything that you're going to, strap down to the top of your vehicle. No. But it's definitely works well for me strapping down a tarp over Becky, who's in my backyard, and I don't want the weather to destroy it. Yeah. It's a fantastic option for things like that or simple tasks like that. Creating
Weather shelters at camp. Or backpacking. That's where I'm seeing a huge benefit to them, or tying trash up in a tree. Sure. To keep away from bears. Yeah. I think there's a lot of really cool applications with the rope roller when it comes to backpacking, hiking, camping, any of that kind of stuff.
Yeah, you just made me think of, I might want to replace all of my stupid plastic cinch cord things that are on my rain fly of my tents.
Oh, yeah. That would be awesome.
I could put the paracord on there and put the rope roller on there, and I can really tighten down that rooftop or the rain fly on some of those tents. Yep. For me, I don't have one on the rooftop tent. They'd be ground tents, but that would be an awesome upgrade for a tent. Yeah. So cool, man. Check out the roller cam, and I really like their rope rollers. Their cam straps are also great too. If you're looking to tie down anything, it just makes it easier to strap things down wherever you're doing. So yeah, they also have a really cool video on their website about how to roll them back up for storage. Oh yeah. Yeah. So that you just don't have straps like all over the place. They teach you how to roll them up as they are shipped. And so you can have a nice compact strap, for storage purposes. Yeah. So we used cam straps all the time in whitewater rafting. I mean, we had buckets full of cam straps, and it was somebody's job after every trip. We had to rotate the job to
organize the cam straps, roll them back up into those rolls, and put them into the correct buckets for the different lengths.
Nice.
So I'm very good at it. I'm a professional cam strap roller.
Excellent. So yeah, big thanks to Roller Cam. And if you guys want a Roller Cam, check down in the show notes. We have links for their setups right now in those show notes.
Sweet. I like it. So that's this month's giveaway. We also have birthdays and FNGs.
Oh, geez. We got a lot of updates this week.
Yeah, we do. Let's start with birthdays for January.
Yes, January. So we had no FNGs this time, unfortunately. So we are going back to 2023 January.
Yep. January 2023, 1 years. We got Steven. Fuck. Steven Caviezel. That sounds right.
Stephen Caviezel. Yep. Thank you very much. 1 year birthday.
Yep. We got Reese Love.
Happy birthday. By the way, Reese, I noticed you're on an annual subscription and it'll be coming due this month. Just an FYI.
Good call. Johnny Fresky.
Mr. Fresky. These are all 1 years? Yeah. Fresky's only been us for 1 year?
Yeah, that's what it says here.
I was just talking to him on Instagram the other day.
And that's it. These other ones are different months than what's listed here.
All right. So any 2 year January birthdays?
Yes. January 2 year birthdays. We have 1, 2. Mr. Spaghetti.
Sean Spaghetti. All right. Happy birthday.
And Nick Collins.
Gracias, senor.
3 year birthdays. We got 3.
3 years.
We got Dave Kurek.
Thank you.
Jake Gallo.
Mr. Gallo. Thank you very much.
Jake, I'll see you this weekend.
Yes.
And the artist formerly known as Samurai James.
Ex-Samurai James. Thank you very much. Hi, Rhonda.
Yeah. Let's see here. 4 year birthdays.
Ooh.
4 year birthdays. Still sounds weird to me when I say 4 year birthdays.
Just wait till the next number.
God, 5 years is coming up in a couple months here. 4 year birthdays. We have 1, and it's James Claiborne.
Mr.
See, another freaking James.
I love it.
Get out of here.
That was at least 2 in that list.
That's right. So
thank you very much, gentlemen.
Yeah. Thank you, everybody, for being on board and supporting the show as long as you guys have. It does really go a long way when people are interacting with us and showing interest in the show, and it helps us kind of feel like this is worth doing still.
Right.
At least doing all the background work of doing all this, like the extra 4 hours we did this morning.
Right. Yeah. 100%.
Yeah. Cool stuff. Thank you, everybody, for the support. We love talking with you guys, love interacting with you guys, love seeing you guys. So keep that up. Keep that coming. One good way to do that is voicemails.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a great way to get in contact with us, and we get to hear your voice, which doesn't happen very often. And if you're lucky, you get to hear your own voice, which then you sound funny.
Yeah.
If you want to call in and leave us a voicemail, you can. The area code is 916-345-4744. Call us, leave us a voicemail, and you'll get played on the air, and we'll answer your question, or you'll answer ours, one or the other.
Yeah. All right, cool. So the first one here, let's go with Mr. Lazy Boy.
Mr. Lazy Boy. Nick. How's it going, man?
Nick DeLuca. Oh, this is a long one.
Okay.
Looks like it's about lockers. So let's see what Nick has to say here.
Hey, Tyler. Hey, Jimmy. Nick, Gladiator on 29th. Just listening to your podcast, and you guys were asking for more feedback. So I thought I'd give you some feedback. On the podcast today, you guys were talking about front lockers and IFS vehicles. I think specifically Tacomas, which I have a lot of experience with. Yeah, you guys are spot on. You're going to break tie rods specifically, and some CV axles, but the tie rods are just super weak. And I've been wheeling with my Tacoma for a long time without a front locker, but I do have A-Track, and, you know, it's gotten through the Rubicon, it's gotten through Barrett Lake, and I've only broken one CV, I think, in all my time, and I've only kind of bent a tie rod. So I definitely would say if you got A-Track, you can get away without having a front locker, and if you do need to add a front locker, definitely look into sassing or, just be very gingerly with the accelerator and turning because you're going to break something. You guys were also talking about grizzly lockers. I have a grizzly locker, a lunchbox locker in the back of my 80. And yeah, I let off the gas when I turn. So my experience is the same as what you guys are saying. Like if power's coming down the drive shaft, especially aggressive power, it locks both wheels and you can hear it chirping on turns, which doesn't bother me. It's basically a rock crawler Land Cruiser anyway. Jimmy, I think you need to go to KOH. You said you got to stay home and you have 5 extra days to work on your rig, but we both know you're probably not going to use that time to work on your rig. Something else will come up. So just come to KOH because we'd love to see you. And then if you guys have any advice for KOH on bringing your wife or your spouse, anything you guys have picked up over your years of going to King of the Hammers, I'm bringing Lisa this year, and any spouse advice for King of the Hammers would be greatly appreciated. All right, guys. Hope you have a great day. Love the podcast. Bye.
There's a lot to unpack there.
There is a lot to unpack there. Yeah. So let's start with IFS.
Let's start with IFS. 100% agree. I think, and I totally blanked on A-Track. I think if you have A-Track in your IFS vehicle or something equivalent, and the equivalent, essentially what A-Track is, the computer is reading the tone rings on the front axle and figuring out when one tire is moving faster than the other tire, and it will automatically apply the brakes to the faster moving tire, which then transfers power to the slower moving tire to make them rotate the same speed.
Yeah.
And so if you have something equivalent to that, I know Jeeps have something equivalent. They introduced it, I believe, in the JL, and I'm not sure about other vehicles, but it's called torque vectoring as the automotive call out for it. So if your vehicle can do torque vectoring, that's what it's doing. Yeah, you can get away without a locker. My only issue with torque vectoring is that it's retroactive. You can't make it start torque vectoring and tell the computer, "Oh, I'm going to be slipping the front left tire, so apply the brakes on that one first and before I hit this obstacle." So it's all retroactive, right? But the torque vectoring systems in vehicles have been getting better and better and better.
They have definitely throughout the years. I remember at least a decade ago when my buddy had one in a 4Runner, and it was loud and a lot of clunking was happening, and it just sounded like the truck was trying to break itself.
Yeah.
And they've come a long way since then. It's a lot smarter. It's a lot quieter. It's faster acting, which is really kind of cool. So who knows, there might be a spot for when we don't even need lockers anymore, but some say yes and some say no. In regards to the Grizzly locker or lunchbox locker comment, I think we're spot on. We still have yet to actually determine what forces it to engage.
Yeah.
Whether it's pressure on the ring gear or if it is actually one tire versus the other tire.
Force differential, I think they're whatever.
Like what if you're coasting and you're doing like a really, really sharp turn? Does it engage or not?
Yeah. Good question, right?
Yeah. And I can't test that unless I switch my differentials around because I have a spool in the rear of Bobcat. So can't test it at the moment.
Nope.
Last comment Nick made was about taking your significant other to King of the Hammers. That could be a whole fun topic we could cover. My first rule or first recommendation to most people out there is just don't do it. My spouse would absolutely go livid and end up killing somebody out there. But Nick's wife is actually she loves off-roading. She loves adventuring. Yeah.
I think she would have a good time for all the festivities and all just the complete shit show. I would say probably don't get involved with any of the shit shows. So stay a spectator at first and see if she ends up putting a foot in to get involved with the shit shows.
Yeah.
But I think the biggest thing, and it just goes back to a lot of our episodes on camping and wheeling, is that ladies want to be clean and they want to be comfortable. So if you can bring something to live in that's not a tent, or have a very nice, like a canvas tent that's going to be able to withstand high wind ratings with a very comfortable bed and a heat during the night, you might be able to get away with that. You're going to have to be the judge of that. In Nick's specific case, he's got a pretty nice GFC setup.
Yep.
And so the GFC on the Gladiator, I think, is a really good option for him and Lisa. Just, I think the big thing there would be some way to heat it.
Sure.
And keep heat during the night, because it gets fucking cold at night out there.
It does. I do know that his wife does enjoy camping and does like going outdoors, and maybe more so than he does.
Might, yeah.
Maybe.
There's an argument for that. She was at Sierra Trek and he wasn't.
That's true.
Yeah.
I think that Nick's not really going to have too much concern. I do think that there's a cleanliness factor that women have more so than men. And they want to be warmer than men do.
Yeah.
And those are really the two things. As for the chaos and randomness that happens down at King of the Hammers, I think there's times when you should go out to Chocolate Thunder and go spectate and then leave.
Yeah.
You know, like you don't need to be there all night. You can just go like, look at how crazy this is. Isn't this wild? Okay, let's go back to camp.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, you don't have to participate. You don't have to drive up the center of or Chocolate Thunder in the middle of the night with everybody. You know, you can go spectate for a little bit. Once the fireworks start coming off, maybe you guys take off, you know?
Yeah.
But I do think that staying warm, staying clean is going to be their tricks. If you're bringing the kids, I don't know. Hopefully not.
Yeah.
I would also highly advise ear protection for sleeping at night. Just throw some earplugs in there, and so you guys can get a better night's sleep. A good night's sleep definitely helps the enjoyment out on the lake bed.
Yeah, totally. 100%. I will have an exterior shower. There's an exterior shower on the Lance.
Oh, cool.
I am willing to let people use it, but there's one rule. I get to hold the shower head.
Perfect.
So, yeah. That goes for anybody out there. Just kidding. Man. So cool. Thanks for calling in, Nick. Love hearing from you, buddy. Let's see. The next one. Kyle. Oh, at Fortune Off-Road.
Oh, cool.
Sweet. It looks like he has some more. Oh, geez. His might be longer than Nick's. But it looks like he has some feedback on lockers as well.
Okay, great.
So let's see what Kyle has to say.
Hey, what's up, Snail Boys? It's Kyle at Fortune Off-Road. Hey, I've been just thinking about that locker episode you guys did. Great episode, by the way. I really enjoyed it. Very similar to you guys in the way that I just enjoy the transfer case and axle talk stuff, nerd in that way. But anyways, you know, something else that I think is a big consideration when you're figuring out your locker setup is the weight of your vehicle and the wheelbase. So I was the one that sent those videos to Jimmy that was, I think it was a GenRite video, and it was showing the differences in front and rear lockers and how you could turn sharper if you had the selectable in the rear. My little Samurai, I had a spool in the rear, which a lot of people do. Sounds like Bobcat's got one too. But with that short wheelbase and that light vehicle off and on road, I could not turn for anything. I kept having to do 3-point turns all the time. On the road, if I make like a left turn, I would end up in the outside of the lane, just like barely hanging on. And I think it's because both those rear tires, when it's so lightweight, it just grips and it just pushes you straight. So on the flip side, I had a 1-ton K5 Blazer that was spooled front and rear. That one was so heavy and that long wheelbase that when I went to go turn, that inside tire would kind of just scrub and do like a slow motion, like burnout, you know, and you didn't really feel it as much in the driver's seat, maybe a little bit of body roll, but it did great on and off road. So I think that's something to consider, in my opinion, if you have a short wheelbase vehicle or light vehicle weight. What you should do is have that selectable in the rear for on and off road turning. And then if you have a longer wheelbase vehicle, you should have the selectable in the front, or if it's a really heavy truck. So I think that's probably why Bobcat does so well, is because that wheelbase is relatively long compared to a lot of other ones. And anyways, that's just my 2 cents. I just put an ARB in the rear of my Jeep YJ, and having that thing turned off, it's like a brand new vehicle driving on the road. Totally different experience having something acting like an open differential. Makes me want to drive it on the road some more. So anyways, guys, thanks for putting out that episode. Maybe that'll spur some conversation for anyone else that's considering some lockers. I'll hopefully wheel with you guys soon. Keep crawling.
That's cool. I never thought about that. Never considered weight in terms of on-road drivability weight. I've thought of weight in terms of durability of a locker.
Yeah.
But I've never thought about it in terms of turning radius on a locker.
Got it. Yeah. I never thought about that either until the video was presented to me from Kyle about how well things turn and how well they don't turn depending on the situation that you put them in.
Yeah.
So it was really an eye opener, and I don't have a selectable locker in any of my vehicles at the moment. So to some extent, it doesn't matter that much for me, but I do think that if you have that opportunity to go selectable, that putting the selectable in the rear, no matter what, is a big game changer.
Yep. I agree. It's cool. The data shows it. So yeah, Kyle, Fortune Off-Road, he does some pretty cool YouTube video stuff and does a lot of really neat kind of more data driven comparisons.
Right.
It's not just like comparing one item versus another and then going, I liked this one, therefore everybody should get this one.
Yeah.
He does some pretty neat kind of data driven stuff where he actually uses almost like point systems and multiple tests to figure out whether something's good or not. So
absolutely. Yeah, for sure.
All right, cool.
Yeah. Thanks for calling in, Kyle.
Let's see. So this one,
last voicemail,
Zach in Oklahoma. Let's see what Zach has to say here.
Hey, Jimmy and Tyler, this is Zach. Good morning. Today in Oklahoma, it snowed, but like maybe a centimeter. But anyways, I just listened to yesterday's podcast about like camping, cooking and stuff. I too make sandwiches. But I, instead of doing peanut butter, I do almond butter. Works just as well. I just like the flavor of it. I also do the honey as well, but I like to mix it up every now and then. But something else that I do while I camp is I do this omelet thing. I found it on Instagram. I can probably send y'all what I'm talking about, but it's like an omelet. You put like riced broccoli in there with some like cayenne seasoning or like crushed red peppers, a few other things, some flour, and then you can make little omelet things that you can take on the trail with you. But the guy that I learned this from puts it into a Nalgene bottle and keeps it in his backpack while he's backpacking. But yeah, that's all I have. Y'all keep crawling.
Zach, don't encourage Jimmy with the PB&H. Okay.
I was told by Ben, your newest employee, that I should have written the cooking guide for Snail Trail 4x4 and posted it on the website. And it's just a 1-page thing of peanut butter and honey. Here's your cooking guide, peanut butter and honey. But you did send me the video, and you looked really confused about the Nalgene bottle thing.
Yeah.
So I've said this before, that the easiest way to carry eggs is to take the eggs out of the shell before you go.
100%.
And so the guy made a scramble, more or less.
Okay.
He put the rice and some vegetables of broccoli and stuff, and then he scrambled it, and then he poured all that into a Nalgene. And he used the Nalgene to carry the eggs around.
Gotcha. Okay.
And then when he wanted to make little omelets, he would just pour out of the Nalgene onto the frying pan.
Okay.
And it would make a little omelet. And then the guy rolled them up and made like rolls. They were like tortilla size when they were done. And then he rolled them up and made little omelet rolls.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that was pretty cool.
Yeah. I was confused because Zach said, he adds all this stuff and then flour. And I'm thinking, oh, they cook it like a quiche in like muffins.
Oh,
and that's what I had in my head. And then he said, then throw those into a Nalgene bottle. I'm like, why the fuck would you throw in muffins?
I don't. Yeah, I didn't hear the flour part, but the flour. Yeah, that'd be interesting. I wonder how the flour would act in that. But the video I saw was it didn't look. It looked more liquidy.
More like a scramble.
It was more like a
thing.
scramble that he poured and made an omelet on.
I kind of like the idea of a quiche.
Yeah.
I mean, you kind of make quiches and then you can do the same thing as a breakfast burrito. Warm them up on your manifold as you're going. So
yeah.
I
also got another piece of feedback from Andrew Clement.
Yeah.
Clement. In regards to the food episode that we recently did on Monday's episode. He brought up the topic of refrigeration, which we didn't really discuss keeping your food in any way. I think I said I have a food tote, but besides that, and I think we said a fridge or a cooler, but we didn't really go into depth about fridges and coolers very much. And I think we don't need to dive into them, but I thought that was an excellent point that we didn't talk about is you do need to think about your storage and how to keep things cold. And a fridge is a good alternative to a cooler because now there's not ice and things sloshing around in water, which is I still use my cooler to this day, but I use it more on day trips or like it's a cold overnight. I'll take the cooler. And if it's going to be a multi-day trip, then I'm taking the fridge.
Yeah.
And it's also shocking about how much storage is in a fridge when you don't have to worry about putting ice in there.
About keeping it cold. Yeah. In the cooler. Yeah. 100%. I'm a huge fan of fridges. They're amazing. You can keep anything in there. Mine goes down to -2. I think I can set it to. So I can take popsicles or other stuff if I wanted to convert it to a freezer for the trip. I really am intrigued by the refrigerator drawers.
Oh yeah. Those are going to be interesting.
Yeah. So like I wanted to build a drawer system into the bed of the 4Runner in the cargo area and put a fridge drawer back there. But I like the universality, the fridge, the ARB fridge, being able to take it out of the vehicle and move it around and being able to put it in different spots in the vehicle depending on my pack out for that trip.
Sure.
So I haven't got around to doing it yet, but I'm like, I still love the idea of the fridge drawers.
Right. Well, now that you don't have your trailer anymore, I mean, you only have the 4Runner or the Bronco that you're going to be putting the fridge into.
And really the 4Runner. Yeah.
So you're not going to move it around a lot.
True. That's true, man. Might be time.
Maybe it's time. Yeah. Well, thanks for calling in, everybody. Appreciate the phone calls. We always have fun with them. Once again, if you do want to call in and have a correction or a comment or want to just hear your voice. Another one that I don't know why nobody's really taking advantage of is promoting an event or something in your area. Call us 916-345-4744. You don't need to stop driving right now to write that down. That phone number is also down in the show notes, so you can find it anytime.
Sweet. Yeah, we love hearing from you guys. So call in, write in, email us, whatever it is. We love hearing from you. So I think that does it for housekeeping stuff.
Sounds good to me.
Cool. Should we head over to what we've been up to?
Sure. Sounds good. Yeah. You want to go first or shall I?
I don't know. I can go first. Sure.
Okay. Don't take another 40 minutes though.
I'll try not to. I got to go snowwheeling this weekend.
Yes, you did. It has been snowing almost nonstop for the last 4 days.
Yeah. So it was a big storm coming in. And what was really cool about this storm was that it was cool.
It was cold.
It was cold.
It was more than cool.
Yeah.
It was cold.
Yeah. So our plan was to go up and kind of be in the middle of the storm coming in.
You succeeded.
So we succeeded. Oh yeah. I ended up going up with Ozzy.
Yeah.
And his wife, Kelly.
Was he in the buggy?
Yeah. He was in the JL. And so we went up to Uncle Tom's and met up at Uncle Tom's.
You met him at Uncle Tom's?
Yeah, because I was trying to wire my winch up.
Oh.
And my solenoid, the 400 amp solenoid is not actuating.
Oh no.
And so it took me a while to try and figure out what was going on. And by the time I figured it out, I was like, I'm done working on this tonight. And so I finished it in the morning and I just wired everything direct. So I didn't get the early start that he did. And he made it to Uncle Tom's about an hour and a half, 2 hours maybe before I did. But they were hanging out there, chatting with people. And then I showed up and we hung out for another hour and 15 minutes at Uncle Tom's and waited and just kept watching out the window until the snow got really thick and we couldn't see the trees outside anymore.
Okay. Yeah.
White out conditions.
You're like, let's go.
Now's the time. Let's do it.
Not going to know where I'm going. I'm going to follow my GPS tracks on Onyx and just continue on following this road.
That's it.
And hopefully I don't hit a tree.
Yeah. Hopefully I stay on the road. Yeah. So that's what we did. We got back on the road, headed up Wentworth Springs Road, went up and over Heartless.
Wow. Okay.
On top of Heartless, the wind was cranking. It was sideways snow.
Yeah.
Perfect sideways. It wasn't coming down at all, just straight across. So straight across snow, our windshield wipers were freezing up into ice blocks. And it was 20 degrees outside, according to the JL.
Wow.
Yeah. So we got up and over that.
Did you see, side note or side bird walk or whatever, did you see Wheeling Wine and Whiskey Jason's photo on our little chat thread that it was -3 at his house?
Yes.
Welcome to Nevada,
yes,
Jason.
Sir.
You know, I think I woke up that same day and it was 34 at my house. So that's what you get for moving out of state.
Yep. He loves it.
Yeah, I know.
So he's a cold weather guy.
All right. So freezing horizontal snow. How deep was the snow at the top of Heartless?
Not deep.
It was all blowing off.
It was all blowing off the top. Yeah. Down the backside of Heartless though, which is typically where it gets deep and really difficult snow. It was only 2.5 feet of powder.
Yeah. Okay.
But what was interesting, we went down the backside of Heartless and then we got down to Ice House Road and we took a left and headed up to Loon Lake.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
And so we got up to Loon and got out
all the way to Loon.
Yeah.
Wow.
So got all the way to Loon. Like the snow, it was really cold snow.
Sure.
And
so
there
it was
was
just pushing out of the way.
And it was hard pack underneath. So it was 2 feet of just this really light, fluffy powder, like Minnesota powder kind of thing.
Sure.
And it just goes poof and flies out of your way as you're driving through it. So we had plenty of traction on the hard pack underneath. That was actually nice. But we got out to the second dam. The first dam was similar to when I came across the dam during the Rocktoberfest. Mm-hmm. You come out from across the wall, behind the wall, and you get onto the dam, and it feels like your vehicle gets blown into the lake.
Sure, yeah.
That's what it felt like coming around there. So got across the dam, went out to the second dam and took a couple of pictures out on top of the second dam above the spillway. And then we went down into the spillway.
Oh my gosh, did you?
Yeah.
That wasn't smart.
I was a little concerned because at about halfway down, I started sliding down into the spillway instead of driving down into the spillway. But it all ended up working out fine. We got down to the kiosk, took some pictures, jumped out of the rig, and it was up to about my thighs.
Okay.
So a little bit deeper down in the spillway there where the wind isn't blowing it all off, right?
It's an eddy in a way.
Yeah. And so we took a couple pictures there, decided it was too cold to hang out or do anything. So we jumped back in the rigs and turned around and came back up with no problems.
No problems going out?
Yeah.
Wow. Lucky.
I was concerned when I turned around. I was like, we're going to be winching out of here.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
Winch to the Rubicon sign.
Yeah. So ended up driving out just fine. No issues. And went back and we were going to head up Heartless again and then stop back in at Uncle Tom's for a nightcap and then head back home. Mm-hmm. But on our way out from Loon, our tracks were gone.
Oh,
which shows how much it was snowing.
How much it was snowing or how windy it was.
A little bit of both. Yeah. And so we were like, that combined with both of our windshield wipers, which kept ice blocking up.
Yep.
So we had to stop every 20 minutes or so.
So my understanding of what happens is there's so much snow hitting your window and getting cold and falling down to where your wipers are. Mm-hmm. Whenever your wipers are pushing that snow off, you're creating the clumps of snow down there at the base of your wipers. And then it's just holding onto that and freezing. Is that more or less it? Even though you're running your defroster like a million miles an hour.
Yeah. So what happens is I had the defroster on high heat, dry heat with the air conditioner on, right? And coming out the defroster, the front windshield. So it's hitting the front windshield. So what happens is all the snow that's coming down on the front windshield, accumulating kind of at the bottom or on the sides, is slightly melting from the warm windshield. And then as it gets away from the defroster, it freezes up.
Okay.
And then comes back down and it collects a new piece of melted snow and then freezes up at the top. And so you do that over and over. And about every 20 minutes, we're having to stop and grab our windshield and just
bend the wiper.
The wiper so it broke all the ice off.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. I remember last winter Fun Fest, I would have to hop out and I would literally grab the chunk of snow that my wiper had thrown down onto my hood, and it's built up so much that my wiper's not going all the way down to where it's supposed to go.
Yep.
And so I was just moving snow out of the way all the time.
Yeah.
That one time that we were on the freeway and there's nobody on the freeway and Caltrans tractors are going by and they're like, how did you guys get here? And we're like, well, we drove up before they closed the freeway.
Yes, exactly.
They're like, oh my gosh.
Yeah. So that was fun. It was a great day. I love being out in inclement weather. I got stuck once. So we went up to the chalet.
Okay.
And I tried getting up into the trailer parking area.
Yeah.
And there's a big berm right there because the snow plows come through and they plow the road around the chalet.
Yeah.
But they don't plow up into the trailer parking area. And so there's a big berm. So I went over the berm and just came down and high centered on the snow berm.
Turtled yourself.
And got turtled.
Wow.
And so Ozzy in a Jeep got to pull me off of the snow berm. And I was like, all right, I'm going to do it again. This time I'm going to make it. I'm just going to send it and make it over both axles over this snow berm. And he goes, no, I don't want to recover you anymore. It's cold out here. And I was like, okay.
That's fine.
Yeah.
Wise words.
Yeah, I guess so. So one recovery was all it was. And then we headed on back down the hill and we came out.
So you went down Ice House the entire way? Because you didn't go over Heartless again. So you went down Ice House.
No, we did go back over Heartless.
We just
didn't go into Uncle Tom's. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because I remember at the top of Heartless, my windshield wipers, this is something I've never had happen before. The tips of the windshield wipers were growing ice between the tip of the windshield wiper and my windshield. And so slowly it was just growing this little pillar, like literally the size of the diameter of a quarter, but just straight out. And it grew it out within about 20, 25 minutes so far that my wipers were no longer touching my windshield. I've never had that happen before.
Wait, so it was pushing your wipers farther away from your windshield.
Uh-huh.
Interesting.
And it kept growing and growing and growing.
Yeah. I don't think I've ever seen that either.
Yeah, I've never seen that happen before. Huh. And I remember that because I got to the top of Heartless as we were passing some people that were stuck. And I was like, sorry, I'm not going to stop and help you because my windshield wipers aren't touching my windshield anymore, but I couldn't figure out why. And then it was right at that point I was looking, I was like, wait, there's a line being drawn in the snow and ice on my windshield. And that's when I started looking closer. I was like, holy shit, there's an icicle building laterally off of my windshield wiper onto my windshield. And it was pushing my windshield wiper away from the windshield.
Wow.
Yeah. So broke those off and they started working again.
Yeah. So did the people ever get out?
I'm sure they did.
I hope so.
We didn't get a request on NorCal 4x4. So
yeah. There were a bunch of requests on NorCal 4x4. I saw a bunch of them.
Yeah. There was one that made it on the news.
With a broken Jeep?
No, it was a Silverado, a 1500 Silverado and another 1500 truck, stock trucks, street tires down up near China Wall, I believe.
Oh, okay.
And they got stuck Saturday afternoon in the 2 feet of powder and stayed the night, and search and rescue went out and got them with a helicopter Sunday morning, early Sunday morning. And then NorCal 4x4 rescue went out and got their vehicles Sunday afternoon.
Wow.
Yeah. But yeah, that one was all over the news Sunday morning. And it was just funny because it kept coming up on the news on Good Day. And I was like, we're handling that one. Don't tell anybody. So,
right.
But yeah,
cool.
Saturday was awesome. Super freaking cold, whiteout conditions, possibly the worst snow conditions I've been in. I can think of one other time that might have been worse, but that was more just because it was a dire situation. I was going out there to rescue somebody.
The one on MET.
Yeah. And I got stuck doing that. I was the rescuer and I was like that. So that, I think that's why that one is higher in my head.
Yeah.
But I had similar icicles on front of the 4Runner from both situations.
Yeah.
So
there's some epic photos on Instagram of your rig and how cold it looked.
Yeah.
Dang.
Yeah. So that was Saturday. Came back home, got some sleep, and then went back out Sunday with some guys from Irate 4x4.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. The Hooligans and Misfits. Literally, I think his name is Hooligan on Irate 4x4 now that I'm saying that. But the Irate 4x4 Misfits.
Is that a group on Irate 4x4? What is that?
They'd like to think so. No, there's a thread on Irate about Mormon Immigrant Trail conditions.
Okay.
And so there's 5, 6, 7 of us that post on that pretty regularly, updating and talking to each other about Mormon Immigrant Trail. And so somebody brought the idea, hey, it's going to be great weather Sunday. Let's go out after the storm on Saturday and go wheeling.
Sure.
And I was like, okay, sounds good. And so it was an eclectic group of vehicles. We had, I think it was a Dodge, might have been a 2500. I think it was a 1500 though. We had
was it built at all?
It was lifted and on, I think 35s.
Okay.
But otherwise, I mean, it had a front bumper and a winch, had sliders. It was scratched and beat up in a couple places, dented. So he uses it as an off-roader.
Okay.
But it definitely wasn't like a pavement pounder, grocery getter kind of thing. So we had that guy. We had a local who had a GMC Sierra, which was kind of built up more of like an old school build up.
So really tall.
A little taller, with I think 33s on it. Gosh. It might have had 35 BFGs. We had a first gen Toyota pickup.
Cool.
We had a TJ.
All right.
We had my 94 4Runner.
Yeah. And
we had I want to say it was mid 2000s Lexus.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is a random group of vehicles.
And then later on in the day, we got joined by a brand new Bronco too.
Okay.
So we went up Mormon Immigrant and absolutely gorgeous weather all day long.
Cool.
It was beautiful outside, bright and sunny with just 2 to 3 feet of fresh powder everywhere.
Sweet.
So I went up Mormon Immigrant, hung out, and then we went down some of the side roads that are open during the winter season. So I believe it's a 9N30 that comes down right near Silver Fork up at the top, and then goes down to Caps Crossing, which then goes over to North South Road. And so that's kind of a big loop you can do if conditions are good enough on Mormon Immigrant itself to make it all the way to 9N30 to begin with.
Oh, cool.
So we went and did that loop, and we made fresh tracks the entire time.
Sweet.
Nobody had done it yet after the storm.
That's awesome.
So we took turns plowing to break trail, and it was awesome, man. You could go 30, 35, 40 miles an hour in some spots, just blowing snow out in front of you because you're breaking trail, right? So it was really cool to go down and just hang out for the whole day, making fresh tracks and fresh powder.
Sweet.
In some beautiful weather.
If you were making fresh tracks, how did the TJ fit between your tracks or on your tracks, or how did
good
how'd
question.
that work?
Cause he's narrower than me, right?
Well, everybody's narrower than you.
Technically, yes. Everybody there was narrower than me. The TJ and the mini truck were the two narrowest vehicles.
Oh, I didn't even forgot about the mini truck. How did I forget about the mini truck?
I know, right?
So the mini truck is narrower than the TJ, I bet.
Yeah, I think so. And so, they, for a while, the TJ was behind me and he did fine. At those points in time, I was second or third in line. So he was fourth. So there was already kind of tracks there.
Already set. Okay.
The times when I was in front, the GMC Sierra was right behind me.
Okay.
So he's slightly narrower than I am, which I think made good tracks for the TJ.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, and then the mini truck was probably like last. So
For
you
the most part.
you went in order of axle width. And you're just kind of making these solid tracks for everybody.
There was a couple times, we were like that. There was one time the mini truck was out front, and then the GMC Sierra, and then me, and I could tell where his tracks were, and then the GMC was on the outside of his, and then I could tell I wasn't able to stay in the GMC's tracks either. So it was just
you were
kind of
on the outside of the GMC's tracks.
Just about, yeah.
I mean, we were doing the math about Bobcat in your truck, and you were 14 inches wider than I believe Bobcat is. That's more than a tire.
Yeah.
Which is ridiculous.
Yeah.
Wow.
Can you imagine what's going to look like when I have tracks on there?
I know. You're going to be so wide.
Yeah.
You might be 2 tires wider.
Might.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I can completely drive inside your tracks.
Probably. I think that the tracks add, it's either 3.5 or 4 inches.
Maybe. Yeah.
Width
per side.
Everything per side. So another 8 to 9 inches.
Damn.
If we're 14 now, we'd be looking at 23, 22 to 23
how
inches
wide
wider.
are the tracks?
The tracks themselves are, I think, like 14 inches wide.
Right. So that's 28 inches total. So what?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I wouldn't be outside your tracks.
No,
I'd still be probably
a little bit in.
Yeah. But that's cool. Yeah. Sunday was a gorgeous day.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
We had a burn pile that day.
Nice.
So,
you got to play with a bunch of fire. You said you had a raging pile going on.
Raging fire. But before I get there, is there anything else you wanted to discuss about Sunday?
Not really. It was just fun driving around. I haven't got to do snowwheeling in a year, right? Almost, since March or April, March. So it was fun getting out there. At the end of the day, we sat up at one of the main road crossings where north-south comes back into Mormon Immigrant.
Okay.
And there was a bunch of activity around us. And we just felt like we were sitting there heckling everybody for like 2 hours.
Yeah.
So we turned into the hecklers of Mormon Immigrant for 2 hours in the afternoon before we all said bye and took off. But
too funny.
It was a lot of fun.
Should we get Austin to start a subgroup?
We might have to. Yeah.
That's funny.
The Mormon Immigrant hecklers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
how was your weekend?
The weekend was good. So on Sunday, the beautiful day, we had planned to do a burn pile, and where I live out somewhat in the country, you're allowed to just have burn piles for the most part. The burn piles.
So you don't have to get a burn permit or anything, or
no? You need a burn permit, and you need to make sure that it's a burn day.
Okay.
Technically.
Yeah.
I made sure it was a burn day.
Uh-huh.
Also, technically, your burn pile is supposed to be 1 cubic yard, 3 by 3 by 3. I think I put something in the fire that was that big.
Nice.
But before we had the burn pile, that weekend was another Christmas for us. So the assistants,
your first one this year.
Yeah, first one this year, fourth time this season. I think we counted it, not including multiple Christmases on the same day.
Yeah,
We had 4 separate days that we did a Christmas this year, this season. So the assistant's dad, his birthday's 4 days after Christmas.
Okay.
And so he always does an after New Year's birthday / Christmas get together.
All right.
And we had them at our house this year because now we got a house. We have a guest room. The other side of his wife's kids kind of live in the area, but their house, they have 3 kids, so their house is full. And so they were spending the night at our house, and it was a lot of fun. They're fantastic people. They're still in-laws, and anybody that has in-laws just understands what I mean by that. But they're good people. So they came over on Friday night, spent the night. Saturday was fairly low key. About 3:00, people started coming over. We opened presents first. And then we had dinner afterwards, and some of the people needed to leave a little earlier because they had other obligations. And then it was just fairly mellow night. We put the kids to bed, and then the assistant and I had a drink and watched some Saturday Night Live and just kicked it. The next day the plan was to do the burn pile, but somehow the family re-invited themselves back over to our house for the football game. There was a 49er football game on. And I was like, I'm going to go do the burn pile. Yeah. I don't really want to be around you guys again all day long. 2,
but they're great people, Jimmy.
They are good people. 2, I was a little frustrated that they invited themselves over.
Yeah.
3, the burn pile needed to get done.
Yeah.
And it just rained. It was a burn day.
Great opportunity for it.
And they were all heckling me that I wasn't going to be able to get the burn pile going because it just rained. And I was like, there's a tarp over it.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know what you mean. It's been like that for a month or so. There's been a tarp. We've had a few rainstorms, but there's been a tarp. As soon as the rain was coming, I put a tarp over it, lashed it down. The center of that thing is dry. Yeah. Like there's not going to be an issue.
Besides, that's what 2-stroke oil is for.
That too. Diesel. Yeah.
Yeah. Diesel.
So, and I didn't need either of that. I had just used some not toilet paper, newspaper and some cardboard and a leaf blower.
Yeah. That's what I did too. And I did that when my family was over in the fire pit. And so I threw a bunch of wood in there, threw a bunch of paper in the bottom, some cardboard, and I took a fire starter thing, which those things are great. First time I've ever really used one. Yeah. And threw it in the bottom and then got the little 12 or DeWalt leaf blower. Yeah. And just sat there and got a fire.
Yeah. The assistant made me little fire starters for Christmas.
Nice. That's cool.
They got sawdust and paraffin wax or whatever.
That's cool. Yeah.
So I think a little cotton like string. So I light the cotton string and it goes and lights nice. That. But I've just been breaking them into like thirds and I just throw them in the fireplace and I light them and then put the kindling on top and they burn great. Yeah. I didn't need that for the fire, the burn pile, but I got the burn pile going. Everybody's like, wow, super, shocked you got that going. And then
you should have been like, yeah, it was tough, man. I had to really work
struggling. At that. Yeah. And we had a burn pile and then we had a burn pile next to the burn pile. So once the burn pile burnt down, we started throwing stuff from the other one on top to kind of burn all this stuff. But in the between doing that, there was this huge round of from a eucalyptus tree in the pasture where I'm doing this, the burn pile. It's probably 4 feet on the short side.
Oh, wow.
And maybe 5 feet on the long side. And maybe 2 feet wide or tall, however you want to say it. Yep. And it took 3 of us to roll that thing into the fire. And that thing burnt forever.
Was it bigger than the tree stump you took to King of the Hammers last year?
Yes.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Okay.
There's no way I would have been able to load that into the back of a truck.
Okay.
You would have there's no picking. I had to get a leverage bar just to like start it from the rolling process.
Wow. Okay.
It was huge. We cut the eucalyptus tree down a bunch of years ago, so it's well dried, but it was rained on. But mainly because the core of the eucalyptus tree was rotting out. So when we put it onto the burn pile, we put it on the short side with the like rotted out core facing the bottom. And it was really interesting how it burnt. Like it burnt around the rotted area, but there was like a center of the tree was still hardwood. The outside of the tree was still hardwood. And it was like this crescent moon of fire.
Interesting.
Happening on the inside of it. Plus somebody, when the tree trimmers came to cut the tree down, they didn't chop all the way through this thing. So it had this weird spiral cut that didn't connect. And at some point after it burnt for long enough, I was able to shove the pry bar in there and separate it. And now I had these two rounds leaning against each other. That thing, it was so hot. It went like, so we started the fire at noon. And at 9 o'clock at night, I left the fire, like went inside to have dinner at 6, and it was still going pretty good. At 9 o'clock, I went back outside and to just check it and make sure everything was doing well. And some of the bigger pieces kind of fell off. And so I just pushed. Oh, and we had the palm tree that we cut down at the assistant's house in there. Palm rounds don't burn worth shit. They were so like,
was it still soaking wet, or is it just
there
not
was
a material that burns?
So there was ones that I pulled out of the fire and like tried to shove like a spade or a shovel into to like break it in half. And when I would shove the spade in there, I would hear hissing and bubbling from there's still
moisture in there,
still water in there from this hot spade like going into it. So eventually they all. So yeah, so at 9 o'clock I went out and things were like sort of separated. I piled everything back up. The next morning when I woke up, the fire was still going. It was only like knee high, but it was still like going a little bit. And then by the time I came back and now this was on Monday after dropping the assistant or the mini assistant off at school, and I ran an errand. I came back and my parents had put more wood and stuff on the fire and built it back up. And they were throwing stuff on the fire. And so that was still going. And this morning I threw some wood on the fire and it lit back up again. So the coals and that fire has been going for like Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. Yeah. The fire has been going and the coals are hot and it's been wild. So that was pretty fun. Besides that, I did put new lights in the shop.
Nice.
And they are bright.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So they're
different coloration too, or?
Yes, they're much bluer.
Okay.
Which is nice. So there's 6,000 K on the color scheme and they're 10,000 lumens each light bar.
Wow.
And I put, my buddy Steve came over and we've figured out that you could literally plug them into each other. Like they would dock into each other. And so there were 3 ballasts long in the shop with two like fluorescent beams in each of the ballasts. And one of those light bars is brighter than one of the ballasts with the 2 fluorescent bulbs in there.
Okay.
And we were able to so we put 2 light bars docked together on one side of the shop and 2 on the other side of the shop for the line. So there was 4 light bars in a way in that line, 2 of them. So there 2 of them put together twice in a way. I don't know how to exactly say that. And then we followed the 3 lines that were in the shop. There was no lights above the garage door. And I put lights above the garage door.
Okay.
So I took out 6, 7, 8 lights in the main shop and I put up 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12 of these light bars,
these bigger ones,
brighter ones up. And then where the laser is in the little nook where I do snail armor, I took down 2 of the ballasts and I put up 2 light bars.
Nice.
So it is so bright in there. It's nice. There's almost no shadows.
Yeah.
Now.
Oh yeah. That makes sense.
You stick your hand out above the floor, no shadows because there's lights going from every direction.
Doesn't
and it's
that mean
fairly
you're
bright.
A vampire or something? Or
I could. Yeah. The mini assistant calls me a werewolf once in a while.
That's true. Yeah.
But yeah, it's so bright. And I posted it on social media and a lot of people reached out to me, but what lights are those? What did you get? And so I sent people links and yeah. Dave Pfeiffer.
Yeah.
I have 4 light bars left over, and he wants the
Nice.
4 that I have left. So
Yeah.
I'm going to drop those off at his house here in a few days.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, cool. That's always good to have redo the shop lighting. So
Oh gosh.
I know that's been a pain in your ass for a while, having that yellow light in there.
Yellow and bulbs not working and
Mhm.
flickering and
Mhm.
showing up in videos. Yeah, it was horrible. I'm curious how the LED is going to work in videos. I don't think it's going to be an issue.
Uh-huh.
But I'm just not 100% sure. I really don't think it's going to be a problem, but I have shot some video with my phone and everything seems to be fine. I haven't shot it with the camera yet, but I don't think there's going to be a problem. But I have slowly been cleaning the shop out. It's kind of funny. Like I'm cleaning the shop out, but it looks dirtier because I'm like sort of organizing and I'm making piles in the shop.
Uh-huh.
So the shop floor is like more of a mess.
Okay.
But I think I have to do that first to like figure out where things are and what things are what. And so then I can start putting things away
yeah.
and just organizing. Really, it just comes down to organizing the shop. I think I'm going to do like a small, like, I don't know, Instagram reel or something like, today my goal is to clean off this counter. And, and just be like, there's all this crap on here and I don't know where to put it in my shop and I just need to figure it out.
Do you need me and Hussman to come over and help you organize and throw stuff out again?
I would, yeah. I mean, I'm not opposed to it. Yeah, it would definitely work. But there's shit in that shop. Like every time I get panels from the powder coater from Reed over at American Stripping, they put paper between each panel so that they don't scratch when I transport them. Yep. Well, I've kept a lot of that paper thinking, well, maybe I'm going to do tumblers or maybe I'm going to do glasses or, glass tumblers with the etchings and everything. And I'm going to need something to wrap all this up with.
Yeah.
And so I have all this paper that I've saved and I haven't done tumblers. And so I'm like, I just need to throw this stuff away because every time I get panels, I get more paper. So why do I keep keeping it?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I'm at the point in my garage now where anything I add, I have to remove stuff.
Yeah.
And so I added the gun safe and I added a freezer.
Okay.
Out there, a stand-up deep freeze freezer. Yeah. And so I was like, I had to go through and get rid of stuff. And that's why the race lines went up for sale. And that's why I threw out a bunch of stuff. And
right.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And I'm probably going to get to that point. I was considering figuring out a way to make a few more shelves or something just to keep some stuff. But I think that there's going to be a massive dump run. Yeah, I think out of it, especially because I threw all those ballasts up on Facebook Marketplace for like $10 each. See if anybody's interested. I'm thinking about marketing it at free here soon, just so I don't have to drive to the dump and throw this stuff away. But I haven't had a bite. So I think I'm going to just, there's a bunch of cardboard, a bunch of paper, these ballasts, these tubes, a lot of crap in that shop is going to go to the dump here soon.
Nice. Well, cool. Anything else you got done? Yeah, dude, your fourth Christmas.
Yeah, fourth Christmas lights, burn piles was pretty much my weekend. I made a goal for myself. I've got to post the new Tundra panels up. So that's hopefully happening this week. The brand new 2022 Tundras have a brand new panel. I got them done at the end of last year, but it was in the middle of the holiday seasons and everything and never got it posted online. So that's a goal. I need to get that posted for Snail Armor because I have a new panel out. I'm also working on getting 1st gen Tacomas and 3rd gen pickups out soon.
Nice.
The hopefully, fingers crossed, final prototype will be this week. We'll see. Cool. But I believe they're the same panel, which is pretty cool.
That's nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, cool, man. Good stuff coming along. You guys heard earlier in the episode that hopefully you heard earlier in the episode. We'll find out who
everybody
heard it,
that's not on Spotify heard probably.
Yeah. The big update from Morphlate here in those trash bags. So let's see. I have a lot of work that we are busting ass to get done to the 24-foot enclosed trailer for King of the Hammers. So that's got to get done. I'm adding a couple of things to the Lance camper.
Oh, cool.
And I need to put the electric parking brakes on the 4Runner are kind of on my to-do list. Yeah. And Winter Fun Fest is this weekend. So we'll see if we can get everything done before Hammers.
Sounds good.
Speaking of hammers, I have had a few people reach out now asking if I was going to do a nighttime run to Fisher again.
Okay.
And so I will.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll do
Sounds
another
good.
nighttime run to Fisher. Let's plan on Wednesday night. Seemed to be a good middle of the week before everything starts getting really crazy on Thursday. So let's plan on Wednesday night, and right outside the main gate worked last time, across the road there on the other side of the road from the main gate where the Polaris rentals typically happen. So we'll meet over there Wednesday night. Let's say 7 p.m.
Okay.
So
Cool.
7 p.m.
Sounds good.
Wednesday night of race week of the Ultra 4 week, down at Hammers across the road from the main entrance.
All right.
So
cool. Sounds fun.
Yeah.
Yep. I'm Nick. I am probably coming down to Hammers. So
Yay!
chill out.
Good job, Nick.
And I will be up at Winter Fun Fest on Saturday night and going on Tyler's Run on Sunday. So
Perfect.
if anybody is up at Winter Fun Fest, please come say hi. You can find me and the assistant up there.
Mm-hmm.
And Sean, you owe me a White Russian.
Ooh, that's true. He does.
Yeah.
Sean, you owe me a White Russian too.
That's true. He does.
Thank you. All right, man. So with that, everybody knows how to get a hold of us. I think we mentioned it earlier in the episode. So if you don't, there's other episodes. There's the show notes. Every way to get a hold of us is down there in the show notes as well. So check those out. Jimmy Jet, do you have any final words for everybody to close out the episode?
I'm super excited about this box of jokes.
And with that, my friends, keep crawling.
I got one for you. Actually,
am I going to have to explain? Am I do I have to explain what you did here?
I got 600 of them for you. I think you are going to have to explain this.
You like doing dad jokes so much that you went out and bought a dad joke. It looks like it's a board game, but it's not. It really just has 3 decks of cards
That are double-sided.
Oh, there's a joke on each side?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
So,
And I did not buy this.
I don't believe you. I don't think the listeners do either.
It was here in the warehouse when I showed up.
I'm honestly not sure where that came from. Like, I know it came from my house, but I'm not sure how I got it. All I was told was, Jimmy likes dad jokes, right? I said, yeah. So she said, okay, take it to the warehouse. I said,
think
okay.
I'm pretty sure it came from the baby shower.
Oh, really?
Because the assistant was at the secretary's baby shower.
Mm-hmm.
And she said, hey, if there's not a dad joke thing at the warehouse, ask Tyler about it.
Okay.
So the only way the assistant would know
would be the baby shower.
Would be the baby shower.
All right. And which would make sense because I wasn't at the baby shower.
Yeah, and you're not funny, which is why it probably came here.
True. Asshole.
Yes.
I'm hilarious.
Hilarious. Yes.
Anyways, all right. Read me one side of that card.
Yeah, I think now I've got 600 jokes, so we've got to do at least 600 more episodes.
Oh God, we're only at 456 episodes.
Yeah, maybe we're at
60.
This will be 467.
Jesus. Okay.
Yeah. Why was the rabbit upset?
Because he got a hair up his butt.
That's not far off. You want to try again? But that was not bad. Yeah.
He had a bad hair day.
A bad hair day. Good job.
These ones are great because I'm going to be able to get these ones.
Yeah, hopefully. I'll flip that one around and we'll continue on another day.
Oh my God. Whoever got that for the secretary, you can go drown yourself in a pond.
It may or may not have been the assistant.
Oh, was it?
No, I don't think it. No, it wasn't because I helped pack the gift that we gave you, and this was not in there.
Okay.
I probably, if I would have saw it, I would have kept it.
You're like, that's not going to Tyler. He's not going to use it.
Exactly. That's mine now.
If you pee on it, it's yours.
Yeah.
Anyways, all right, we're done.